This Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Terumos Terumos, the article Ozvar edition, and Daf Lamed Testim and Aleph, the first two dots, which is 1, 2, 3, 6 lines down, and there's a header. In the Vilna Kafal from the Bays. No header. Just 4 lines before the Mishnah. My time, Rabbi Shmuel. Okay, so Rabbi Shmuel's want to send the Mishnah that you can make 50% of your produce truma and leave 50% chulin. My time, Rabbi Shmuel. To see Rishis the Koncha, the first of your grain. Rishis the Koncha. Tayol Rishis Sheker the Kon. It's enough that the we say that the Rishis, the truma, should be like the grain, which means 50-50. Achi Sharachol Shem, last meeting in Mishnah was Taf Rabbi Akiva, who said, Achi Shar Shem Chulin, until you leave some sliver of Chulin. Time in Ashlo, also Klum Achi Shar Mitzvahs. How do we know that it's not effective unless you leave something, some remainder? Tam Lo Reishis, Lo Ko Reishis. It's interesting because here in the Gemara it says May Reishis. The problem is that that's not the plus. Oh, there it is. That's not true. When the Maya takes out the May Reishis here, and the I don't know. The Kaminoki seems takes out the map from May Reishis, but he wants to say it's a whole different shot here. But, well, the simple meaning is Tamar May Reishis below Ko Reishis. In other words, from the Reishis, not all of the Reishis. So that, but that doesn't sync with the drasha we have in the Bavli. Bavli Chulin, I think the drasha is, this is I seem to remember, and that's where the Kavanaki takes out the mem, is that Reishis, there should be a Reishis as truma, below Ko Reishis. By the definition, if you make all the truma, there's no Reishis. So there's only Ko. So if you have a Reishis, you have to take off, you have to leave something. So again, one way, the way that's written in front of us, the Gemara, May Reishis, it's actually a pasuk in Bamidbar, Tezvav Chaf Aleph, and May Reishis means you take off from it, not all of it. According to the way the Kavanaki has it, which I assume it's in the Rashivilio, because usually it takes in the Rashivilio. Yes, the Rashivilio says that the pasuk in Midbar Tezvav Mem Aleph is talking about Chala, so therefore he doesn't think it's appropriate derivation. That's why he changed it to Reishis. And that's the way Kavanaki is learning it, that because Reishis, the low Ko Reishis, meaning there's got to be Reishis, and not for low Ko Reishis, but Reishis, low Ko Reishis. I forget that inflection. But it should be a Reishis. By definition means you can't make everything a Reishis. Okay, Aloha. B'shlosha brakim b'sharim esakal 3 times a year you check out the basket in order to take off Meiser and Chumas Meiser and the proper proportions. B'choros, and when you first harvest it, and that's it. That obviously it is everything is fresh fruit and large. B'siafos, at the end of the summer, when the fruit is going to come shriveled up because of the heat. Over emtza kites, and in the middle of this summer, when they are beinanim. They're not the biggest, they're not the smallest. So each time you have to reassess the proportions. Hamona Meshubach, if you count, that's great, that's the best. But so the measure is even better than that. And so many ways is even better than it's the best of the 3 possible methods. Well, the one asks me who Meshubach. Well, you start with Hamona Meshubach. Meshubach from what? This came afterwards and said, Moed is Meshubach Menu, and Shekel is Meshubach. So it sounds like actually Moed is not Meshubach at all. So the base sounds like baseline. Rabbi Yonah said, "Mishubach min atorem mu'umad." It's better than somebody who takes Shumas Meiser off by estimate. And there is, we had the Shita in the first parak that there is a Shita that Shumas Meiser also can be taken. Tumi the Chuma can be taken by estimate. So here, it's even according to when you can't take off with an estimate, that's not Meshubach. The best way is to do it with a measure. So the Gemara says, Amar Bechina Braid Rab Hillel Masisa Amar Kain. The Mishnah seems to say this. It says, Mishubach Mikulam, right? That the shaykhah is best because, because that's it's not Mishleshta. I mean Mishleshta. Just the two things. Said, Moeded, shaykhah. So what I wanted to learn previously in Mishnah is that of the three, it's shaykhah is most meshubach. That's not the way he's learning. He's saying, says shaykhah is better than the three. What's the three? We only have before two preceding procedures in our Mishnah, right? Modeh and moded. And he says no. There's a third one implicit in the Mishnah, which is the one of oimed. Okay, that's Mishloshtan indicates that Rabbi Huna's idea is correct. But Rabbi China said no. Like I said before, Tipot the Mishloshtan. Learn the Mishloshtan as if it says, or even you want to change gears to Mishloshtan among the three. It's a Shema Klum. If we can't derive anything from our Mishnah, no proof. Okay, says the Halacha Vav. Rabbi Lezer says Truma Ole Bechameya, and of course, if you have a Truma, which gets mixed up, a saw and 100 saw of Chulin, so the Truma is batel. You do have to take one up and give it according to Rabbi Lezer to a Kohen, even because of Gezla Shevet. But that's not because it's really Truma. It's to make up for not the Truma not being exits. Shumer b'me'av ode. It's going to be 100 plus. Vod ze ain't no shir. This ode has no specific shir to it. So it's by Kohen Lezer, it's 1 in 100. So altogether, 101. According to Rabbi Yeshua, it's 1 in 99 plus a little bit. So now it's a little bit over 100. Yosef and Shomer, v'od kav l'meya, me'asa shtus l'medameya. He says that the chon has to be 99 saw and another kav in order to negate the saw of Truman within it. This is the shtus l'medameya. Explains the kav nagi based on the Mishnah Rishonim. The kav is a sixth of the saw, and the saw of Truma would be medameya if not for the additional kav. So he says he says that because this one which is showing the reason being that a shtus is always something chashuv. So he says that the kav is 1/6 of the saw. And saw truma would be medami if not for the seventh kav, and because the reason why it's a shtus is because it's kind of arbitrary, though. There's always something which is a chashuv measure. So he's saying that Rabbi Yosef Shulm is saying not Rabbi Shua. It's not only no share. It does have share of a kav per me'asa, okay? Which is the shtus medamea. It's a 6, so without that it would be medamea. Okay, so it says Gemara, Minayin Shein Olin. I know that Truma is not batel, fell into less than 99 chulin. Rabbi Yonah, it said Mikol Chelbo, it's Mikol Mimenu. From all of the best, you take it's that which is sanctified from it. The Tani, we learned in the Brisa, Davar Shator Meirimi Menu. If you took something from which you pick up, In nafal tocho mekacho. So if it falls back in, it's mekadesh it. So this is talking about the mikdasho is where's this pasuk? So we take from the best that which would be mekadesh if it fell back in. So that means that that means that since Trumas Meiser is 100, of course, is added Meiser Truma Gedola. So therefore, it must be that if you have less than 100, then it's going to be mekadesh. So if you have to have 101, it says or the a little bit over 100, at least, like Rabbi Yeshua says, or a kav over 100, like Rabbi Yisrael ben Meshulam. So now it's just that's machta ba'alma, right? So it's but truma is but the chab betray, like any other min pamino. So, but it's midrabanan. They were so mech on this pasuk to require the proportion of 100 to 1 in whatever shape or form. Rabbi Lezer Omer Mosif Sa Maleh. Lezer says you have to pick up a saw and give it to the coin, but you add on a saw first. Okay, so so therefore you put it in to sustain the ratio, and you take one out and give it to the coin. Rabbi Shomer Mosi Kosher Maleh. So it says also you have to add on, which is kosher l'shitasa. So Rabbi Shomer V'od kav l'mei asor shtus l'mei v'od kidvarav. And here it said you have to add a kav. And though it says Gemara halach kidvarav, nevertheless, we pass like Rabbi Eliezer, because it's not Mishnah later on, Mishnah Aleph, and an Orla, Parakmes Mishav is like Rabbi Eliezer. That's like it's assumed to be Shamuti, but here we pass like Rabbi Eliezer. Okay, so the brings us to the bottom of Lamed Tes Amud Beis precisely, and I'm not going to start the next Mishnah today, so we will stop here for today. Oh, and I'm going to be as close for Eretz Yisrael.